truly a man ahead of his time. King Charles has used his platform to raise awareness about environmental, social and cultural issues for more than 5 decades. While he is beloved for his dry sense of humor and tireless dedication to duty, it's his principles that have allowed him to become the thoroughly modern monarch we see today. Here, several famous faces who know His Majesty well speak of the respect and admiration they have for everything he does. Lionel Richie, the all-night-long singer, 73, will be performing at the coronation concert. I know King Charles as a wonderful person. I never thought performing at the coronation would come up. It's A, surprise, B, an honor, and C, the fact that of all the names out there, he called my name. This is the grandiose of grandiose right here. Dame Joanna Lumley on BBC Breakfast in 2020, the absolutely fabulous star, 76, who as part of Sky TV's coronation coverage team, praised the King's involvement in the arts. She said, "He has always supported actors and the performing arts and music and culture. He has always been a great patron. And for him, off his own back, to suddenly think of how he could best help the acting profession and all the backstage and everything that goes on, which has just hit a brick wall and been practically vanquished in this terrible year." Jay Blades, the 53-year-old furniture restorer and presenter of The Repair Shop, met King Charles when he appeared on a special episode of the BBC show. "It was a real joy and an honor to be working with Charles. We just got on like a house on fire. You've got someone from a council estate and someone from a royal estate that have the same interests in apprenticeships and heritage crafts. I'm an ambassador for his charity and he's invited me 3 times, to his home, to have a look around, spend the night and have a sleepover." Giles Brandreth, the author and presenter, 75, has known King Charles for several years. "I firmly believe this is going to work out rather well. In these troubled times, it's reassuring to have an older king. What's good about King Charles is that he has been around for as long as most people can remember. He was born in 1948, he's part and parcel of the show. People have a good sense of what they're getting. Charles is also a workaholic. I've been in his study, which is always piled high with papers and documents. He's a powerhouse of energy." Barbra Streisand, when appearing on ITV1's Lorraine, the 81-year-old Hollywood icon recalled receiving an unexpected gift from Charles when she was performing in London many years ago. "I walked by the assistant's room and saw this bouquet of flowers and said, 'Who sent me that?' And she said, 'A fan called Charles.' And I said, 'Really? Let me see the note.' And there was his seal. They were from his gardens. It was so funny. That's Prince Charles. That was before he met Diana. If I'd played my cards right, I could have wound up being the first Jewish princess." Jenny Bond, from 1989 to 2003, the journalist, now 72, was the BBC's royal correspondent. "The king has an eye for detail and anything quirky. In the 1980s, I had a habit of wearing white stilettos, even where they didn't belong. I was once stumbling through a field of corn stubble in New Zealand as Prince Charles drove by in a Land Rover. He leaned out of the window and chortled, 'I see you have the wrong shoes again, Ms. Bond. the royal family rarely see life as it is for the rest of us. The old adage about everywhere smelling of fresh paint when a royal visit takes place is true, and it's not what they want. On a trip to New Delhi in 1992, Prince Charles and I visited the cleanest, freshest-smelling slum you could ever encounter. He said he wished he could just stop the car somewhere and march in unannounced. Caroline Robb, the chef, 57, was employed by then Prince Charles for 11 years at Kensington Palace. Charles always had a modest amount of meat in his diet, and everything had to be in season, so no imported strawberries in December. These are things we now understand as being far better for the environment. I'd prepare home cooking with the freshest ingredients. Leftovers would go into a quiche the next day. Scraps that were safe for chickens to eat went into the chicken bucket, and every morning he would go out and feed them. Charles is going to be amazing as king. He is a kind, understanding person who also gets things done. I've never met anyone so hardworking, yet he'd still find time to write little notes saying, "Thank you, that was delicious." Dame Joan Collins, the acting legend, 89, has spent many memorable moments with King Charles over the years. His Majesty King Charles has always been charming, with a wonderful voice and a dry sense of humor. I met him for the first time at the charity ball businessman Armand Hammer gave in Palm Beach, in the 1980s. We had a little dance together. He is quite a good dancer. Another time, we sat together at the Safeway picnic in the park concert in aid of the Prince's Trust. Diana Ross and Shirley Bassey performed, both of whom he is a great enthusiast for. He loves modern music and was jiving along. I hope that Charles will do as well, on the throne, as his mother. Sarah, Duchess of York, the King's former sister-in-law, 63, is championing him in his new role as head of the royal family. "I can think of no better person than Charles for the job. I just admire him and everything he does so much. There is no question about it, this is a really exciting new chapter and a new way ahead. I think the coronation is a wonderful moment to unite the nation, and we will all be out there celebrating." Carol Vorderman, MBE, the presenter, 62, became friends with the King through his Prince's Trust charity. "I wish King Charles every element of peace, joy and strength during his reign. I believe Charles will become a great king. He has championed environmental issues and young people. One thing I know beyond any doubt is that King Charles believes no matter your background, no matter your story so far, there is goodness and a hope within us all."
From